Hello everybody and welcome back to Dork Points. This is Ron and today we are looking at 10 games that are leaving PS Extra, and most of them will be leaving on January 17th. So you got a little bit of time to check these out, so we should talk about them. Electronic Superjoy. Listen to that music. Yeah, there's no settings on this game. It's very simple. So the lady going, "Oh yeah," was coming out of my controller speaker in the middle of the night, very loudly, throughout the game, to the point where I couldn't play it, and I couldn't go back into settings and change it because there's no settings. So I don't know if I need to change the settings on my PlayStation to fix that. But anyways, other than that, it's okay. It's kind of like Save the Ninja Clan if you like that. Super hard, Meat Boy hard. Anyway, Jump Jet Rex is next. This one I really dug. They're both side-scrolling platformers, excuse me. But this one's just a little more fun. It's got that great 8-bit look to it and 8-bit soundtrack. It's a little confusing at first, but it's got a bunch of cool little secret areas in every level that you can get to, like this, as you see here. And your character can almost basically kind of fly, so you gotta get the controls down and kind of become an expert at that in order to get everything. But there's so many secret hidden areas, even in the first 3 or 4 levels that I played, that I have to figure out, you know, how do I get them? I still don't know yet. I'm not quite familiar with it, but I like this game a lot, and this is leaving on January 17th, so if you like a little platforming action, you should check this out. Alright, moving on to Leo's Fortune, and I guess I packed all the side-scrolling platformers right up into the beginning of this video. This is another one, and I like this one a lot as well. I think this is pretty fun. It has a look similar to, oh god, what is it? Unravel. It has like an Unravel look, but it's a little more silly, a little more lighthearted. But you're a little ball guy, and when you puff out, you become almost like lighter than air, so it's kind of like how you do your double jump. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a little puzzly and tricky, but I think any kid who's played a side scroller before can probably figure it out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to show this one to my daughter and see what she thinks. But again, there are some moments where the puzzles get a little tricky, and it might be more of an adult game at those points, or you might have to play it with your kid. But yeah, Leo's Fortune, check it out. It's pretty sweet looking. Alright, moving on to Enigmatis, the Ghosts of Maple Creek. Now, I didn't know what this one was about. I just downloaded it because it looked like a ghost thriller mystery, but unfortunately, it's one of those games like the Swan Princess, which I featured in an earlier video. So it's a point and click, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about these games where I can play them for about an hour, but I never seem to finish them. They feel like phone games. I don't want to say it feels cheap, but if you've played one of these games, you've played them all, is what I should say. This one's pretty enjoyable, but again, if you've played one, you've played them all. There must be an audience for these games. There must be somebody who really loves this style of game. And you really do get to take your time. There's no pressure. It's not like a shooter, so that's kind of cool. Ghosts of Maple Creek. Alright, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now this one is interesting because this is not leaving till February 26th, I think they said. I'm not 100% sure on that date. But it is leaving at some point soon here. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, download it now. I'm about a third of the way through the game. It doesn't take that long if you really plug away at some of the missions on a daily basis. It's actually a fairly short game, but it's also still a pretty fun game. There are a lot of bugs in this new edition, and I don't know that I love the character models and stuff, like people have been saying. But yeah, it's still pretty fun, and also weirdly, my daughter loves to turn this on and just drive through the city, so that's cute. All right, Bound by Flame. I have mentioned this one as well in a previous video. It's basically a Walmart Dragon Age, I'd say. What's that? Archer Farms, or it's a knockoff. It's a Dragon Age knockoff, and it has a decent look and stuff. But the characters are kind of thin for the most part, except for Mathras. Love Mathras. But the game is also fairly short. It is tough as well, but I think there's a total of 3 big levels, and then there's some mini levels in between those 3 big levels. But I think I've played through this game in about a week at most. But yeah, it's leaving, so if you like Dragon Age, check it out. Alright, last Tinker, City of Colors. This game just brings me back to that old, wonderful PS2 era of platformers. Everything looks cool, and it all looks like candy. I have not figured out the painting element of this game yet, so I'm looking forward to that. I've only played the opening level of this one, unfortunately, but just looking at it and playing through it, I did not delete it, and I hope my daughter will take a look at this and check it out and play it before it leaves on January 17th. So yeah, if you love old school platformers, this really scratches that itch. It's pretty cool. I hope it's not too long and that I have time to really get into it here before it leaves in 3 weeks or so. Alright, Shines the Lightning Kingdom. We have featured this one, or Charlie featured this one on her video of 10 cheap games she played. This is free and leaving on January 17th. It has a very, I don't know, like Dragon Ball feel to it. Like, the fighting is kind of complicated. You gotta duck and dodge and stuff. But it is also Breath of the Wild RPG-ish. But yeah, if you see here, when you lock into these fights, it's basically just a punching fight. And you gotta use dodges on the harder enemies, and you have to choreograph it. It's okay. It's good. If you like that kind of stuff. Alright, moving on to the Council.
Let's see how brave you are.
Also leaving on January 17th. This is not that long of a game. It only has 5 chapters. But, of course, I was trying to get the correct response in every scene. So I was using, like, a walkthrough, and so the first chapter alone took me, like, 2 weeks to play, because I wanted to get it perfect. I wanted to make every right choice, because I'm OCD like that.
Listen,
so if you are like that, beware of this game, but it is really beautiful to look at. It's fun, and it's interesting. As you see up there, you get these steps, and you have to make the right vocal decision that will change their minds or give you the best outcome in the conversation, and each one requires points, so you have to be careful about how you spend your points and stuff. It's really interesting. It's from the people who did Werewolves Within, and I really like the environment, and you get to meet all these old school people like Napoleon and stuff. It's interesting. Alright, Seasons After the Fall. This is our final game of the evening. Here you see it looking very, what's that weird flower or flow? Very flow-like. Yeah, I kind of like this little scene here. But the story itself is very interesting and melancholy. It has a really cool look to it, like an old school Disney movie or something.
But I won't give the surprise away.
Yeah, it seems to have a darker tone. I know it looks beautiful and like a kid's game. Also, it is kind of a side-scrolly puzzle solver as well. But man, I just love the way the fox feels and looks when you're handling him with the controller. It's just really enjoyable just to play around. I could do nothing in this game and just enjoy myself. So this is definitely a game you should check out. No need to beat it, just play it and enjoy it. It's interesting, kind of a life and death tone. Just to warn you for kids, if you got kids. But yeah, there you go. All right, 10 games leaving on January 17th, except for Grand Theft Auto. But there you go. Dork Points fully earned. Good night, everybody.